Very good morning, cadets. Welcome back to the new session after well-deserved vacation. Of course, this summer vacation was different from earlier summer vacations because you are in your respective homes from last so many months. Anyhow, I feel that you are still in touch of academics, and I hope you are all keeping well. This is a tough situation, cadets, so we have to be physically and emotionally strong to cope up with the tension of COVID-19, the disease which is presently under control. So, new academic session after vacation is on now. Of course, the prior to vacation we had a monthly test also, and before vacation I completed chapter from history and civics. Today let us discuss chapter number 2, that is from trade to territory. Chapter number 2 is very important because in this chapter we are discussing lot of important dates related to the British East India Company, like Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, Anglo-Mysore Wars, Anglo-Maratha Wars, Anglo-Sikh War. So several events and wars discussed in this particular chapter. So just concentrate on the title of the chapter, that is from trade to territory. So the British East India Company landed in India for the purpose of trade. That is what, from trade. So finally those who came for the purpose of trade or the business, they landed and they finally became the masters of India. That's what, from trade to territory. And from the trade to territory, company establishes power. So when we speak company here, company means the British East India Company. The British East India Company, which initially landed in India for the purpose of trade, and finally they captured the territory on the land, and after capturing territory or the land, they established their power. So that is what the chapter 2, that is what chapter 2 we are going to study, that is from trade to territory, the company establishes power. So hope, cadets, you are sure what I am explaining in this particular chapter. Let us begin the chapter. Aurangzeb was the last of the Mughal rulers. He established his control over very large part of territory that now known as India. We studied about Aurangzeb because Aurangzeb was not the last Mughal emperor, but this line you have to underline, that Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal emperor. The last Mughal emperor is Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar, whose reference or name we make while studying the chapter Revolt of 1857, because Bahadur Shah Zafar was a part of the Sipahi Mutiny or the Revolt of 1857. So Aurangzeb was the last powerful Mughal emperor, and he died in the year 1707. So after death of Aurangzeb, the many Mughal governors, because Mughal governors and zamindars, the Mughal governors and zamindars who were the subordinates of Aurangzeb, I repeat, They were the subordinates of Aurangzeb. But after death of Aurangzeb, the next who assumed power in Mughal dynasty, they were not so powerful like Aurangzeb. As a result, what happened? Those who assumed power after Aurangzeb, they were very weak. As a result, the Mughal governors and zamindars, they started expressing their authority over the regional kingdoms. So over the regional kingdoms, they declared their independence. So slowly, what you have to understand here, that after death of Aurangzeb, the importance of Mughal dynasty is reduced. That is one of the major reason for gaining of power from the by the East India Company. As a powerful regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India, Delhi could no longer function as an effective center. So during the Mughal period, the Delhi was the capital city, because that was the very powerful center during the Mughal period. But once the Mughal dynasty lost its charm, as a result, what happened? Lot of regional kingdoms, for example, Sindh is a regional kingdom, Mysore is a regional kingdom, Marathas regional kingdom, Sikh regional kingdom, Rajputs. So like several regional kingdoms, they emerged because of the weak Mughal dynasty, especially after death of Aurangzeb. By the second half of 18th century, however, a new power was emerging on political horizon by the British. So British originally came as a small trading company. So that is what. Why British visited India? They visited India just for the purpose of trade, because the British were well aware of the prosperous trading, especially spices from India. So British landed for the purpose of trading, and they were not very happy, or they were not very much interested to acquire territories in India. So, but how did they become the masters of the vast empire? So in this chapter we will see how this came about. So what we are going to study in this particular chapter. So the British, if you definitely if you observe the world map, England is a very small country rather than an island. So how such a small, geographically small country, how could they could succeed in capturing India, and they become masters and ruled us for nearly 200 plus years. So that is what we are going to study in this particular chapter. So cadets, if you remember, I just mentioned the name of Bahadur Shah Zafar, because Bahadur Shah Zafar, last Mughal king. Bahadur Shah Zafar, I told you, with the reference of Bahadur Shah Zafar come only during time of revolt of 1857, that we'll study in the chapter number 5. Bahadur Shah Zafar and his sons being arrested by Captain Hudson. After Aurangzeb was no more powerful Mughal ruler, but the Mughal emperors continued to be symbolically important. In fact, when a massive rebellion against the British rule broke out in 1857. So 1857 is nothing but a revolt of 1857, or the Sipai Mutiny. Bahadur Shah Zafar, the Mughal emperor at the time, was seen as natural leader once the revolt was put down by the company. Bahadur Shah Zafar was forced to leave the kingdom, and his sons were shot in cold blood. So this is an additional information, no need to give too much importance, but please remember, who was the last Mughal king means The last Mughal king is Bahadur Shah Zafar. But last powerful Mughal king is definitely Aurangzeb. Last powerful Mughal king is Aurangzeb. Last Mughal king is Bahadur Shah Zafar. Now cadets, let us understand very important aspect of this particular chapter. Hope you read about Alexander. Alexander visited India. He attacked India. So it is not the British who landed first time in India. We had enough foreign invasions. But try to understand. You see, this is Britain. Okay. So you can say British Islands. This is British Islands. Okay. So this is Italy. This is Greece. This particular place is Greece, Macedonia. So Alexander travelled in a different route. Alexander travelled in a route where he travelled in land route. To try to understand, Alexander travelled in this particular route. So land route. Okay, Alexander travelled in the land route and landed in India. So you may be read or heard about Vasco da Gama, isn't it? Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India. So the sentence sea route is important. So Vasco da Gama not discovered land route to India from Europe. Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India. So the why this sea route was discovered? Or they were very much interested to discover sea route? It's no. Answer is no. Then why they discovered sea route? What happened here? The powerful kingdom called Turkey, that is Ottoman Turks. Ottoman Turks captured or blocked this land route. This land route was blocked by Ottoman Turks in 1453. In 1453, Ottoman Turks blocked this particular route and they stopped the supply or travelers from Europe to India. When they Ottoman Turks stopped the travelers from Europe to India, now the Europeans wanted an alternative route. So that's the reason why they started discovering sea route. That is what in 1498 Vasco da Gama travelled from Portugal. So Vasco da Gama travelled from Portugal. This is Spain, this is Portugal. So Vasco da Gama travelled from Portugal in Atlantic Ocean, reached the tip of South Africa, that is Cape of Good Hope, and crossed Indian Ocean and landed in Calicut in Kerala. So Vasco da Gama landed in Calicut in the year 1498. So Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India in the year 1498. After that, British travelled in the same route because already the route was done. So British travelled in the same route in which year? In the year 1600, that is 1600. After that, French travelled in the same route and landed in India. Which year? That is in 1664. So I repeat, Vasco da Gama travelled in the year 1498. After that, British and Dutch together travelled in 1600 Then in 1664, French traveled and French landed in this particular place that is called Pondicherry. French started in Pondicherry. Vasco da Gama landed in Calicut, but later Portuguese settled in which place? Portuguese settled down in Goa. Goa. So Portuguese settled down in Goa. So cadets, please try to understand the major reason why the discovery of sea route was done by the Vasco da Gama. It's purely because of their necessity, because the land route was blocked by Ottoman Turks. So once the Ottoman Turks blocked the land route, the prosperous trade route was blocked. That's the reason why the British East India Company and the French East India Company, Dutch East India Company, Portuguese East India Company, they wanted an alternative route. That's the reason why discovery of sea route by Vasco da Gama considered as one of the greatest achievement. That is the major reason why the entire trade route started opening up from Europe to Asia via Atlantic Ocean, North Atlantic Ocean, South Atlantic Ocean, Cape of Good Hope, crossing Indian Ocean and landed in India. Hope you are able to understand what I am explaining. So please try to understand this particular event, that is the capture of Constantinople by whom? Capture of Constantinople by Ottoman Turks. So the capture of Constantinople by Ottoman Turks is a major reason why the discovery of sea route done by Vasco da Gama in the year 1498. So whenever we refer about British, French, Dutch, Portuguese, we call them as mercantile. Merchant means trader, isn't it? A person who purchases commodities and sells commodity, makes business, is called merchant. So mercantile company means a business enterprise that makes profit primarily through trade, buying goods cheap and selling them for a higher price. Let it be British East India Company, French East India Company, Dutch East India Company, or Portuguese, they are all basically merchants. They landed in India mainly for the purpose of trade. That's the reason why, what is the name of the chapter? From the trade to territory. So they basically landed in India for the purpose of trade. So that is what initial introduction to this particular chapter. So try to understand, in this particular chapter we are mainly concentrating on the development of British East India Company as a powerful trading company, and slowly they converted themselves as the rulers in India. That is what we are going to study. So please observe this map once again, because this is very important, because that's the reason why the entire history of India is changed, because of discovery of sea route. Otherwise, of course, the present situation of India, which we always say that India ruled by the British for so many years and all those things, this major reason is the discovery of sea route by Vasco da Gama. So please try to remember all the important dates. Of course, in between or end of the chapter we will have reference of all the important historical events related to this particular chapter. So please take care of yourself. Be happy, be safe, be healthy, both emotionally as well as physically. Take care. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you. Tomorrow let us meet once again in the next continue of this particular lesson. Thank you.